Hi, welcome to the Hotflashing podcast. I'm Anne-Marie, your host. Today I'm speaking to JoAnna Ross in New York City. JoAnna is a comic, a performer, a writer, a dancer, a singer, a yoga teacher. She is a multi-passionate woman. And it's interesting that I'm having a frog in my throat because we have both got frogs in our throats during this interview. JoAnna was a dancer and performer in the original Broadway cast of Footloose, if you can believe it. And she's reinvented herself many times along the way. She is dropping her most personal project yet called Hot 50. I hope you enjoy our meandering, fun, real talk discussion about midlife, menopause, and everything else. I'm Anne-Marie McQueen, journalist and proud 50-ish woman, and we are here looking for the true truth in perimenopause, menopause, midlife, and beyond.
Opening our minds to other possibilities is not always easy.
Hotflash Inc.
You're all woman to me. All right, Anne-Marie.
First of all, you were in the original Broadway ensemble of Footloose?
I was very lucky and to get that job. Broadway's, it's a small community, it's a small family, and I'm really grateful I got to be a part of it. I was so young, and I was a dancer my whole life, and it's really funny. I always thought I'd be like on cruise ships and a hip hop dancer, and then I end up on Broadway, which again, it was great. It was the greatest. It was one of the greatest moments of my life.
And then, so how have you sort of morphed? Because then you became a yoga teacher, then you're like writer, performer. Like, how did that just sort of unfold?
Sure. Okay, great question. So I'm here, I'm in New York, I'm doing Broadway, the show closes. I'm not really getting a lot of jobs, and so I decided to move to California. And I probably took like 5 yoga classes in New York. And I think coming from a dance background, I just felt like it wasn't really, it wasn't jiving with my body. I felt worse after class. And so when I got to LA, I tried again for some reason. And I ended up in this Anusara class. I didn't know what kind of class I was in. And Anusara was more like an alignment-based yoga. And I was like, that speaks to me. You have to tell me what to do, or I'm just going to do what I want because I can mimic you. And so I think that was hurting me. And so I took this alignment-based class called Anusara, and I was like, oh, I was in. I was hooked. I loved it. It really felt good. And then I'm like bartending. I'm like trying to find my way. I think I want to be a comic. I have no idea how to be a comic. And so I was like, I gotta get out of the bar scene. And so I became a yoga teacher. It really helped me like injury-wise. Like I felt so much better from all the dance injuries. And then I was like, I don't know how to do this comedy thing. One of my friends, Sarah Colonna, she trained me at this bar. And she was like, you should take this writing class. She's a comic. I think, you would really like it. Because I feel like I'm such a Virgo. I need to be, needs to be perfect before I get on stage. And so I got my 5 minutes. I went to this class and it was great. The women I still am friends with in this class, and I got my 5 minutes ready. I went to an open mic and I've never looked back. I was like, okay, I love comedy. And so that's how I ended up in stand-up. I was in LA, and then, about maybe 4 or 5 years later, I moved back to New York, and I've still been doing comedy.
What's comedy taught you over the years?
I think the one thing as a dancer, I would say I'm a dancer, and you have to get a job, and those jobs are really hard to get, especially being short. And then I think as a comic, what it's taught me is I can go out every night and perform, and that's very different from the dance world of like, I could get up on stage all the time, whether it's an open mic or, obviously there's a ton of shows everywhere. It's not just at the clubs anymore, especially now, right? It's like at the back of a bar, at a laundromat. And I think that's like the easy version of what it's taught me. And I think like the deeper version would be like, I get to say my truth, and I get to, I think, go through life, and the good and the bad usually ends up on stage, and I get to eventually make it funny. And that's the goal anyway, like of where I am in life, how to make that funny. And I feel like when you're authentic about it, that's the best feeling on stage. And then when people appreciate that and laugh. But I would say most times, I would say 90% of the time when you're I don't know, like working on a new joke or something and you're not sure, you just go out and do it. It's far better than being like this very planned thing. And I love to plan is why I say that. Like I'll rehearse like in my bedroom, just constantly going over my set. And I think some of the best moments I've had and what it's taught me is like to trust myself and just go do like that, what I want to talk about. Okay. Hence my whole special being about like menopause and where I am. It's like sometimes I feel like, why am I doing this? Why am I letting everyone know? And then I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever done. Like this is, you know, by far feels like that's all I want to talk about. I'm always like, are you in menopause? Are you in menopause?
I wonder, because now everyone's talking about it. I mean, I was just watching 2 of my TV shows last weekend, Scrubs and Your Friends and Neighbors, and they both just like, it was just like in there. Like it was just in the, but 5 years ago, I don't know, do you think you would have been able to do it?
Knowing, that's a good question. I would say
It's not a fair question. If it's 5 years ago, you weren't going through it and you weren't at this, it's not really a fair question.
I feel like it is. I want to try to answer it. I would say that I would say that I wonder if I was going through it and didn't know.
Okay, why?
Five years ago, because I feel like it wasn't talked about, and if I could turn back time, I would wonder like if I had a lot of symptoms and didn't know.
Yeah.
And then because when I did, it was so apparent, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm sure that makes sense to you. But I feel like I can't shy away from what's happening. Like it would be really interesting if I tried not to, I would say. If I didn't want to talk about it, and it's like that's all that's happened. I mean, again, I think when it happens to you, your whole world is consumed with what decisions are you going to make? What doctor, is your doctor on your side? Are they able to talk to you about it? And if not, then you have to read about it. You listen to podcasts, then you're really in the weeds, and then you're like, I'm so confused. I definitely listened to someone you guys were talking about, like everyone wants you on HRT now. And it's like, you know, should you or shouldn't you? And it's just like these questions can't be answered with just going to one source anymore. I mean, it's for me, it's the Wild West out there. It's the Wild West. Everyone's making money off of it, which really makes me crazy. A lot of stars. Let's say that. A lot of famous people are selling pills. Mm-hmm. My favorite is like, excuse me. I was, I think when I was in the weeds, I would just like tap I would see a famous person and just be like, well, what do they have to say? Let me just see. And it's like a half hour later and they're like, take this pill.
Smart ones, they start talking about it and they're getting a brand deal, right? They're trying to get a deal. So some of them haven't got it yet, you know, like television celebrities that aren't as famous. So now I can start to see that they're trying, like, but that was only after it had been going for a while. I started to see that, like, oh, she's talking about it. She's trying to get a brand deal. Or maybe she already had the brand deal. Yeah, I'm so jaded now, right? But it's like, I don't believe anything is organic half the time in marketing.
But you're in the business.
Yeah, it's like, so chances are the person that I thought was angling for a brand deal already had one and they had just arranged that this is how they were going to roll it out, right? It's like you start talking about menopause and you seem like you have no affiliation and then you'll start talking about this. It's just, that part's wild, right? Like that part's pretty wild.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is wild. And again, you're probably coming at it from such a different angle, which I super appreciate. I mean, don't take me to a Broadway show. I'll be like, I hate the dancing. Like every time.
Right.
You know, like I'm like, they're so talented, but I don't understand. But so I get that. Like you're seeing it from from the moment they probably start talking, you're just like you see it already. So
yeah, it feels like, it feels a little bit. I mean, I'm so glad they're talking about it because 6 years ago when I started, they weren't. And I used to like look at fitness magazines and be like, oh, there's a 55-year-old woman on that fitness magazine. And I was really struggling, right? So then I'd read the article and it wouldn't mention perimenopause or menopause at all. And then she'd be talking about her wellness routine or whatever. And it's like, tell me that she's not struggling. And now we find out they all were. They just didn't want to talk about it because it was like gross or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you think I'm gross. Actually, that's in my joke. I always say, I'm like, you guys think I'm gross. I know it. Because, I feel like I can't believe you've only started this 6 years ago because I feel like, wow, it seems like it definitely happened in I don't even know how many years, but that sounds about right. The last 6 years, all of a sudden, like everyone's talking about it. And before that, you're like, no one's talking about how you age. And it's all about fitness. which is crazy. Not against it, but that ain't gonna help. Like, it's gonna help a little bit. And you know what? Like, I'm 51 now, and all my friends, like, I think it divides between, like, they're suffering for sure, and some have done something, and some have not. And the have-nots are like, it varies from their doctor's like, no, you're fine, which I don't, okay.
Yeah.
But again, like, my doctor, I think some people have looked at me like, wait, you're still on stuff? And I was like, oh, my doctor told me, like, she's not going to stop taking it till she dies, and she's 74. So I think she, like, and again, I don't know the answer. I'm just saying this is what my doctor said. Again, like, almost the women in my life, no one's on the same path. No one's doing the same thing, which is, but we're all going through the same thing.
Yeah, we're all going through the same thing, and we're not doing the same thing. You're right. It just depends what your doctor says too, because you're a busy woman. You're not going to go to 7 doctors and compare everything. I'm having such a throat.
We're on the same page.
We are like so jiving with our frogs. We're
like, nothing's wrong. We're you guys aging is fun.
We're just pretending that we don't have these like weird hormonal frogs in our throat.
We don't, Am. I'm going to call you Anne Marie. I really like it.
You can call me Anne Marie. I'm glad we addressed what's been going on, because we're both like choking. We're both like,
hold on a second. I'm like, I had 7 cigarettes. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's the crazy
No, me
thing,
neither.
right?
No.
I did have sake. I'm not going to lie. I had sushi and sake last night, and it was amazing.
So you're not going to go to 7 doctors. This is the problem. You probably could or should, if you had the time, to give you the well-rounded, but no one's going to do that, because it's enough to go to the doctor once. It takes you all the energy you have. So you're going to do what they say. I'm
very lucky that my GP, this is so crazy. How much time do we have? So my GP was like, I ended up at this, like, what would you call it? Like, shit. I can't think of the word because I'm in menopause. But anyway, it was a facility, like, oh God.
Like a clinic?
My husband's probably a clinic. Thank you. A clinic, which I did not know. And I have insurance. I came around the corner and I was like, how am I at a clinic? Like, I think I had changed doctors, like, whatever, the insurance, at a clinic. And I'm like, am I even supposed to be here? I have insurance. And she's like, no, it's great. Your payout it helps me take care of 2 more patients. So I was like, great, here. She was so awesome. She's the first GP that sat with me for a very long time. And she deals with a lot of trans people, so she already knew about hormones. So she's like, I'll get you these hormones and make sure that you're not paying out of pocket. And, like, I've dealt with the system and stuff like that. So I was like, that's cool. I'm like, I'm too young. I'm not ready. And she goes, don't suffer. Okay, whatever. I leave. And then I go to my gyno, and she's like, you need to be on these. And I'm like, too young. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm 48 years old. I cannot, no way. So I'm very lucky that I had 2 people pushing for me not to suffer. So I didn't think, and I don't even think I was going in with any symptoms at that point. Like, maybe I had, I don't know. Because the reason I say that is because when I went in, like, and I'm like, okay, give me whatever you have. It was so bad, and it changed so quickly. It wasn't like this slow burn, I felt like. It was like hot flashes, vaginal dryness. I couldn't, like, when they talk about, like, this is I think my biggest fault with all of this. It's like, I could not have sex. It wasn't like it hurt. It was like fire blades. Like, I can't even express the pain that I was in. And that is like, no one's talking about that. And I'm just like, but that's what happens to some of us. And it's kind of like, so they thought it was an infection. They didn't know what it was. They were like, I'm getting phone calls every week about try this, try. The things they told me to try is so insane. It's totally in all my jokes because it's so hilarious.
Like what? Can you just give me like an example? Oh, thank you. That is, wow.
And I was like, do I even have any? I don't even, is this cotton? Like, now I got to go look at, like.
Oh, so who figured that out? What genius got to that? Yeah, and what's that going to freaking do?
I mean.
So annoyed for you.
With that was tell my husband to wear condoms.
Well, that's like worse if it hurts, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
this is a condom near your vagina when your vagina is already.
Absolutely. I'm like, I don't want anything extra.
No.
Even when they're like, here's some lube, I'm like, you don't understand. Everything that I put near it, it's like, no, please get away.
Oh.
So that was some of the crazy stuff. And I think there's even more. And I think if I knew I was going to write about it, I probably would have written it down. But it was just these are the things I remember that were like crazy. And so that was coming from like someone within my gyno's office. It wasn't the one that is 74. That's a badass that I thought was, yeah. And so that was some of the crazy stuff that I was told for sure.
Wow.
And again, this is in a time where I'm like not sure what's happening.
Yeah.
Like I'm just, yeah. So like, I think it's an infection. I think it's like, this is something they can get rid of. And once I started on, and then I went from 0 to, 100. I got on anti-anxiety medication. I got on HRT, progesterone, and vaginal hormones. Am I, yeah.
Okay.
I think, yeah. I'm like, is that all I'm taking? Yeah. And so like, so it went from, and then when I told my gyno that I was on anti-anxiety meds, her eyes rolled out of her head, like, which makes me laugh because I think she's like, you're just in menopause, you don't need that as well. But I started them all together, so I'm like, I don't want to take anything away because I feel good now,
Yeah, yeah. How is your vagina now?
It's great.
Good.
I'm so happy. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it to come back.
Oh, like, it's gone. It's good. It's good to go.
Yeah, no, I know, but like I feel
I know. When you've gone through that,
it came.
I'm so blown away by what an obvious problem this is and how long it takes. Like, Halle Berry was told that she had herpes, right? She had the same thing. And her doctor told her she had herpes. And then I've just been through with a good friend of mine for probably a year, has been down some very strange procedures, went down the urology route. And now it seems to have come back around that it's just this. But it was just allowed to progress. It can be debilitating, but how it's staring them in the face. Like, that's what I can't get. It's like, how are they not like, we know this is a problem for like, maybe not this extreme, but for like 80% of women, they have some form of this. So how are they not looking at you when you're in your late 40s and saying like, da-da? It makes me crazy.
I'm back on the herpes because
I know.
Isn't it something that you see?
Yeah, like, I still, like, my dream is to talk to her and say, what do you mean? Like, what was he talking about? Because I thought herpes was lesions, but I think maybe she had tears. Maybe she had tears. Like, I'm just surmising. I'm just making stuff up. But all I can think is he's pretty clueless, because doctors can be clueless, because they should know this if they're looking at vaginas and people are complaining about vaginas. This can't just have happened now, and it's really hard to understand. So I have no idea. She's just said that, and I have so many questions just about that one topic.
Well, okay, so I'm on stage and I'm starting like to talk about this. I'm starting to like form my set. So I'm at this club, and the first thing I read/watched was Oprah's talk on menopause, and she had on like 2 doctors, Drew Barrymore. And one of the things I learned, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm always ready to be wrong, because I'm getting all these sources from all over the place, but what I loved is that the doctor's like, you're always in menopause. Like, once you're in it, the rest of your life, you are now in menopause. And so I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, once you hit it, that's the rest of, I don't know, that sounded interesting. But she was like talking about how, when you go through school, like, menopause is that big of a section, and so you have to go back if you want to really deep dive into it. So no one's doing that. And so that's the first thing I kind of heard about menopause, and I kind of really appreciated it. I felt like the whole audience was a group of women who did not know what was happening in their bodies. So I was like, okay, I relate to this. And then I said something about it on stage, and someone's like, well, Halle Berry is also talking about it. And I was like, okay. So I go see what she's doing, and she was selling a pill at the end of it. And I was really bummed, because I was like, and actually, I don't even know if she talked about being misdiagnosed. I don't know.
Yeah, she's talked. I mean, she's, you know what celebrities do? They dole out one story here and one story here and one story, right? You know,
Oh my,
you max
what?
it out.
Yeah.
You max it out. You don't give it all. I would be a terrible celebrity. Terrible. Because I would just tell. I would be like,
Yeah, tell all.
my
I'd be like, listen,
publicist
how
would be
long have you
like,
got?
we don't have anyone else to pitch to because you told everything to the New York Times. I'm just fantasizing about me being a celebrity. Yeah, I would be a terrible celebrity. I don't know how they can actually do that. But yeah, she has a platform, and then I think she was promoting something. Everyone's promoting something. That's just the way it goes. And I think probably if we got big enough, we would probably promote something too. I don't know. I'm not sure. I sometimes wonder, like, if you had that much, would you? Like, do you think?
It's a good question. I think I've seen so many of them like you. I'm just turned off. Like, okay, so I guess the question would be, so I also saw this model who is, 4 pounds and she gained 2 pounds. So now she's fucking 6 pounds. And she wants to go down to 4 pounds. And she didn't know she was in menopause, takes all these pills, gets the right doctor finally, and feels amazing. And goes in to her doctor and says, well, I don't want to take all these pills. But can you make it into one? And guess what? She's selling that pill now, or whatever, that shake, whatever it is. And I'm just like, I think when I become famous after this podcast,
this is definitely going to be it for you.
This is the jumping off point. Anne-Marie, you're coming with me.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And I would just say that I would just tell what I did.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I was a yoga teacher, you know that. There's this book called Woman, Food, and God. And I was like, not into it. Like, the God part, I was like, out. My mom's like, just fucking read it. And she's like, put something else in for the word God. I'm like, okay. I was raised Catholic, by the way. And I just don't know what I believe in. That's, not dissing anyone. My mom would kill me if she heard that, especially after Easter. I mean, what am I doing? So,
Even.
Yeah. I read this book and I'm like, oh my God, this is how I feel about the whole dieting industry. This is how I live my life. Finally, someone put it into words. I couldn't even express to you what it is, but I just read it and I was like, oh my God, this is so great. Turn to me teaching yoga, and the question I get all the time is, how do you stay thin? How do I do this? How do I lose weight? How do I do that? And I'd be like, just read this book. So I've never tried to sell what I do. I can only tell you what I've done. I don't think it's going to work for everyone. The book kind of describes it better.
Yeah.
I can't put it into words. Again, like I came from a dance background where I was a bulimic and I, had eating disorders. So, and just to get through all of that, I had 4 more disorders, like to come out the other side of not.
Yeah.
And, so this book kind of talks about, I don't want to say eat what you want, but there is something to, like, if you keep wanting to have chocolate cake, you're just going to kind of keep eating till you get the chocolate cake. So just have the chocolate cake. And But that's not the whole thing. And
no, I read
so
it.
I really like that.
It was what do you call it? It was transformational for me, that book, because
Oh, you read it?
yeah, no, I read it. I read it probably 10 years ago. Someone recommended it and I was like, I don't want to read about God, but the way we are about food, and I had binge eating. I had binge eating disorder for sure. Like, and I never realized it till I got older that that's what it was, because I never threw up, right? So I was like, but if you're sitting eating in a stressed out state until you don't feel well, that's like, what else is it? You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is.
Right.
And, just all the deprivation and the way that we treat ourselves. Yeah, I think when we're talking about people selling this stuff, it's like there's just a depth of understanding of where you need to get to sort of be okay with yourself to handle and hold these things. And so to sell a pill, that's probably why you're having such a strong reaction, right? Because it's like, it's so much more.
Yeah, again, add in how expensive everything is, and I'm just sitting there going like, oh, now I gotta add in however much this is to feel better. Like, why can't I just feel better?
Yeah.
But I do think, like, probably for most of my life, I could have maybe sold something. There's so much to say. Women talk horribly about themselves, and this is like before I even knew menopause was even going to happen. So can you imagine, like, being like beating, myself included, just being like, it's never, I think that the self-talk stuff that happened to me as a dancer, and then becoming, like, I would say around my like that starting to go away and just accepting who I was so much better for my health and wellness and my body, that no one wanted to hear that, right? Like, you're like, hey, I've done so many bad things to my body that now just being like cool is it was probably transforming my body better than anything else, and like allowing myself to eat what I wanted. And like, and again, everyone's like, I don't want to hear that. And again, that's what the book says. They all want to know what to not eat, what to eat, what pill to take. And I'm like, I'm not that person. So I don't know. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think the only thing I could probably sell is like, okay, we got to show up every Monday and talk to each other. I'm trying to think, what could I possibly sell? I'm like, yeah.
But then I think if I became fabulously famous, I'm sure someone would come with something, and I'd say, I mean,
slap my name on that.
Yeah.
What would it be? Okay, wait, let's turn the tables, Anne-Marie. What would you sell? I haven't answered the question at all. I feel like
I'll tell you what I would sell. Years ago, I just want to make a really cool necklace that has a monocle on it so that when I'm shopping, I don't have to take my glasses out and I can see the price. But it's cool and it's got charms on it. You know what I mean? It's super cool. That's all I want to.
Nothing to do with your health.
That's all I want to sell. I've dreamed of this for 15 years now. My monocle, and my friends will still send me things from Instagram that's like a necklace with glasses. I'm like, that's not what I want to do. Nope. That's not. So I don't aim very high.
You know what? I wasn't going to say this, but now you said monocle. I'm like, all I want to sell. Okay, so, I have like an album special coming out. But all I'm really excited about is I have this joke. I think you're going to appreciate it without the joke, but I made these hats and they're coming like next week. And it looks like a badge, right? And it says Badge of Honor.
Stop it. Is that your merch at your show?
Yeah. So
I have to have one. I'm going to order one.
You have to have one, and it's in navy, and the badge is like a little hot pink, like pops out, and then it also says earned, not given.
Oh, this is very good for the single among us.
Yeah,
because it's like also an outward to men. If you are given the badge of honor, like I have earned the badge of honor, but you do not get the badge of honor unless you earn it.
You do not get it.
Yeah.
No, this is great. Again, we're not really good at this, so please keep talking about like what we should do to sell stuff, because obviously we can't sell diet pills. We're against it. But I would say that I wasn't like merch. I was like, whatever. I really didn't think about it. People talk about it with comedy all the time. You can make more money, especially if you're not like headlining and you're just featuring. You can make maybe a couple $100 selling merch, right? Merch needs to be like cheap, $5. Like, a lot of people sell like shot glasses and bumper stickers, buttons. And so I'm writing out my set for some reason. Like, I don't know, like I'm just writing everything. I know why. I want to take, again, because all I want to talk about is menopause. I do want to take it like into like a one-woman show type thing. Like, and so, because my special talks about getting married and other things and fertility, not having a baby, and then menopause. So I'm like, oh, I just want to do menopause. Like, so I was writing stuff out, and I was like, it came to that joke, and I was like, well, that's the merch. I mean, every time I say it on stage, I just get like this huge, like, I shouldn't say, like, I get an applause break, right? Like, people are like, freaking out. But I will say it again.
You're going to sell out of your merch. It's great.
I mean, I hope so, because I want hot pink and navy. But anyway, I will say that after I get off stage, women, like, I think in the beginning of me, like, starting out with this material, maybe, again, like, not, like, fully understanding, and, like, I'm not, maybe the jokes aren't hitting as well. I still would have women come up to me afterwards and be like, thank you for talking about this. And I was like, I'm hitting something. I'm hitting a chord. I don't know what it is. And again, I'm like, please laugh then. Thanks for coming up to me, but can you laugh? And so, like, and then, it transforms into being funnier and me really taking more, like, it kind of more living in me kind of thing. And I get, the people that come up to me, it's like I had a girl come up to me with her father and say, thank you, he needed to hear that. And she was nowhere near menopause. She's like 20.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
And older women, they're like, my favorite is older women come up to me, like 60, 70, beautiful, beautiful women. And they're like, I just make my husband work harder. And I was like, okay, I gotta go now. Like, why are you? Okay. So, like, but I get, like, and all in between. And a lot of people that aren't even near menopause, I would say that. They're very excited. And talk about selling things. All I say to them is, like, just read as much as you can. If you can, just be prepared, because that's the hardest part. I think when you just end up in menopause, you have to make a lot of decisions, like myself, and I wanted to do research, but I'm too tired to do research because of menopause, and it's confusing. So I think you're better off not being in menopause trying to learn about menopause.
That is a very, very smart statement. That is a very good piece of advice. Okay, so your show, you are releasing it like it's like an album. So do people buy the album? Okay, how does it work?
Great question. April 16th, the album comes out. You can hear it on all platforms. You can buy it on Apple or Bandcamp. You can stream it on Spotify, all those things. And then April 27th, the special comes out, where it's the video of that. And they are different for sure. It's really interesting when you go through this. Hearing it and seeing it are just two different things, meaning like some jokes came out, some jokes stayed in on either one because of either seeing it or just hearing it, and which I totally love that. And they're in different orders because of that as well.
And where's the video? Where can you get the video?
Oh, yeah, sure. That'll be on my page on YouTube.
Okay.
You could just go to my website with all that. It will be there. My website is Hot JoAnna.
That's good.
Wait, do you know that the special is called Hot 50, Anne-Marie?
Yes, Hot 50.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's great. It's right. I'm going to say that in the intro. When I go back and record the intro, I'm going to say Hot 50. Don't worry. Yeah.
Oh, no. I was just curious, because my husband was like, I couldn't get JoAnna Ross comedy.com or something. And he's like, just do Hot JoAnna. I was like, I think that is, if you just put Hot JoAnna and not .com, it's bad. I mean, it's not bad. They're hot women, but it's not me.
I think when you can't get something and you have to do something else, it just ends up being the thing that you should have done. I think Hot JoAnna is awesome. I know it's important to both of you what I think, and that's what I think.
Yes, I will tell him, and he will respond accordingly.
Okay, you seem, comedy takes so much courage, it feels like. Like, it just takes so much courage. There's so many women at our age who have dreams and thoughts and things they want to do. And I'm sure what they're thinking is, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how I could ever do that. So I'm sure way back at one point, you never thought you would know how to do this. So what would you say to someone who's this age, who's just contemplating like some audacious thing? Like comedy,
in general, not just stand-up.
Yeah, just like not just stand up, just the thing that doesn't seem possible. It seems like so many steps away.
Again, great question. Are you a journalist? You're really good at your job. I would say the first thing is just taking a step. I'm very big on process. That's definitely how I work. It's not like I don't really go too far down the road. Like, what's next year gonna look like? And if it doesn't, my whole life is, ruined, kind of thing. So I'm a big person. I would say, so if you can take a step, that would be great. But if, our age, something new, this is what I would say, don't forget that doing something new and could end up being the best thing you've ever done. And I think new and scary always goes to the bad place first. Like, it's scary, so why would I do that? And so I think, and I try to, I think when I taught a lot more yoga, I always say, I would say very often how surprised I was that I went and did the thing I didn't want to do because I was too tired, because I had worked too hard, and I'm like, I don't want to hang out with Anne-Marie. And then I was like, and I did it, and it was like the best night. And I know that's not what really you're talking about, but I think it does kind of lend itself to, that bigger thing you want. And even if it was stand-up, it would be easy. I'm like, just go do it. Just go do it. I waited till I was perfect, or my perfect 5 minutes. But I would say if I could go do it over again, I would just start earlier. Yeah, I hate, I think as we get older, we don't want to do new things. And so maybe not even try the hardest thing that you're talking about, but just go do something new. I think then you get the itch, right? You're like, I tried something new. I still teach this yoga class online, and everyone, I think the youngest might be 55.
Okay.
And then it goes 65, 84. They're all retired. Everyone's retired. It's amazing. They're doing more new stuff now, and they inspire me so much. And the ones that don't, I'm like, let's go do something new. You have to go, and you have to kind of make yourself do it, because you'll just go do the same thing you do every day.
Yeah.
Am I even answering your question?
Yeah,
I
you
think
are.
that's a hard
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
You are. Well, and I really want to ask you about yoga because yoga is so bonkers to me. I've done yoga since I was 30. So crazy to me now that I barely go to any yoga because I can't stand 90% of the teachers. I'm going to sound like such a biatch. But when someone
I'm going to
walks in,
sound worse.
like they walk in and I'm like, nope. And then I want to leave because I'm judging their
should.
appearance. I'm judging their appearance and their outfit. And I just only really want to go to yoga taught by people from India now. And your class, maybe. Because I have that here in Abu Dhabi. I have that luxury. There's a few people from India. It's amazing. It's the kind of like, no nonsense. I don't want any nonsense or preaching. So yeah, just tell me a little bit of what your take on the yoga world is.
It's just like, it's like the menopause world. It's the Wild West. There's no hierarchy. Everyone is just making up their own. It's getting worse. It's not getting better. I would say it is a multi-billion, the health industry or the fitness industry, I'm sorry, in general has to be multi-billions at this point.
Yeah, it's
trillions probably, because everyone's looking for a solution. Yoga, I would say, lends itself to people even being more lost, but I would say the gyms have taken over. The worst of it has taken over, meaning like classes in the US have gotten shorter.
Really?
Why? And I think it's because people are like, well, I need to go. So that's one thing. And then if you look at the gym side of it, it's all marketing. I was in a place that was like, well, we need to fall into these 6 categories. And so it was either vinyasa, whatever. And I was like, but that's not what I teach. Like, just pick one of those words. And I was like, that's crazy. Yeah. I would say I've gone into more classes and been like, everyone is going to hurt themselves. And this is bananas. And I can't tell you. So I'm very lucky that I will just do my own as a teacher, right? I know not to do that. No one else does. There's no direction going on. There's no, don't do this, don't do that. You know, like, I got such a great yoga education, and that's crazy to say because, again, it's all money. The amount of money it takes now to go through a yoga program is so high. I spent $1,200, but they just happen to be really good. I already had come from a dance world. I had already taught dance, and I think it just helped me understand. Whatever, I'm getting off topic. But so I think 90% of the yoga is horrible. I think a lot of them, I don't think that they didn't go to yoga school, but I don't know in what world I should be doing that. Like, and then it's all too fast. I don't understand, but that is a thing. I am not vinyasa at all.
Right.
And I think the thing I get the most is like, hey, there's nowhere to start yoga. Like, it's all like level 10, level 2. And so that's my thing. I like to go break it down because I'm kind of snobby. I'm like, if you do things wrong, you might as well just sit on the couch. You don't go to yoga and do things wrong and get benefits. You will get hurt. I think I heard someone say that, I think it was maybe Dan's chiropractor or something. He's like, the biggest injury right now is yoga.
Wow.
And I can't tell you how many people I've seen that are like, well, I have this injury because of yoga. And I'm just like, I mean, no one's ever I've taught yoga for probably 20 some years. I've never hurt anybody.
No.
And I take people upside down, which is crazy. No one takes anyone upside down anymore. And I'll spot someone double my size. I'm like, because I know how to, it's not scary. Like, I know we're going. Also, I started so long ago, like, people were like, can I touch you? And I was like, why?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the best adjustment of your life. What are you talking about? But
there was a whole article about that. There was a whole article I read about adjustments. And I mean, look, of course there's been bad actors, but, obviously everywhere there has been. But I miss those adjustments a little bit. They're not happening anymore.
Also, I think if you're a good teacher, and again, like, talk about you hating, like, you walk in, walk out. I'm like, listen, if you don't know who doesn't want to be touched, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can stand a mile away.
Yes.
And,
yes.
And I'd say 90% of the class wants to. And you already know who that other person is. And so, and again, yes, there's actors, but, it's a shame. Yoga's really great. Also, you know what? I would say if a person, you have to correct me, because I have never taken from anyone that's from India or been to India, but in America, if you're doing the class with us, you're a bad teacher.
Yes. It's not for you to do the class. It's not for you to
And
get a workout. Yeah.
How are you telling someone else what to do?
They're behind you.
Again, I am literally in the back of the class being like, your left foot is not turned in or turned out, Actually, I'll say it, Equinox, there was this woman, so I'm in class, I'm subbing a million classes. They won't give me my own class, whatever. So I'm subbing this class, there's a ton of people in it. I fucking rocked. I'm just kidding. I just thought it was a great class. I taught a great class. I had been teaching this group of people, so some of them I knew, whatever. Afterwards, a manager was in the class. I think I knew that. She comes up to me, she goes, "Can I talk to you?" And I was like, oh my gosh, she's going to give me the class. This is going to be amazing. I did so well. She shuts the door behind her, and I was like, oh, this isn't going to go well at all. And she goes, "You say don't a lot. Why would you say don't?" And I was like, there's 40 people.
Yeah.
70% of them are about to hurt themselves. So I'm like, don't hyperextend. Don't have your shoulders up front. It was like big blanket statements as people are like doing chaturanga or something. And I was like, okay. She goes, "You're just really negative." And I know you don't know me, but that's like, I'm the biggest cheerleader. Because I came.
Do not seem like a negative person. You don't need to seem like a negative person.
When it comes to that, again, coming from the dance world where everyone's like cutthroat and you have to be better than the next person, prettier than the next person, skinnier than the next person. I am so not you know what I mean? I'm like, everyone's great. It's just that's how I want to be because to me, that's how I got better at things. Not by being cut down.
That just seems like a person you triggered. You triggered her because of your demeanor, and she's got something inside of her. That's what it seems like to me. And I don't even know the situation, but she probably your light made her feel weird, and she had to say some shit to you.
That's it was so long ago. That's so sweet. I don't know. I just remember thinking in my head. It's really funny that I thought I was getting a job and I got reprimanded, and I don't even remember the other things but the don't and something else, and I was just like, okay, gotta go. And so I think that's the yoga world. I think they're focusing on numbers. They're focusing on probably, like you said, the outfit. I mean, first of all, why do we even have taupe, white, and beige yoga pants outfits walking around? I don't know what it's like in Abu Dhabi right now, but around here it is there's no white and taupe, and it's so
everyone looks like they're naked. No, everyone looks like they're naked from the bottom. When I go to the beach, everything's taupe. I'm like, is that person naked? So I think there needs to be classes too for our age, because I was in a class last year, and this is my pet peeve, is when you're not doing something and they come around and they're like, "Hi, do you want to give it a try?" And it's like, I've been doing yoga for 25 years. I don't want to do a crow because of my shoulders. Don't you just respect? I'm not just sitting here because I'm just not doing it. Don't come over and be like, "Would you like to give it a try?" I don't know, but that's me having a bad attitude. But it's just no. I'm 55 or 53 then. Do you think that it's
I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That's exactly my point. If you're a good teacher, you should be if you don't want to do crow, here are 3 things, and not single anybody out.
Not come over. No one likes that. You're not doing it
Or you could just say, I just want to make I was going to say, you can also make sure everything's okay. That's it. Yeah. Those are your 2 options. Yeah. Stay in your squat, open your hips. That's 1. 2, put your hands down. 3, maybe try to do crow. I don't know. There's so many things. And then again, the only reason you should be going over there is to make sure you're okay. That's it. The other thing, I've heard people be mean. Kind of what you're saying. I'm like, what? It's yoga.
Yeah. I've seen that too. It's a mean, weird world. It really is. And I started seeing it here years ago, and it's there's something going on. I'm fascinated by it. I'm so fascinated by all of it. Yeah. Yeah. And it started years ago. It started years ago because me and this guy that I worked with went to yoga, and there was this guy with a ponytail, and he called him Ramalama Ding Dong because the studio was Ramalotus. And we would always talk about how he would preach and read from this book, and like, could he really be as nice and serene as he seemed? And then one day he phoned me up so excited, and he said, Marie, I saw him. He was in Starbucks and he was yelling at his wife and kid. He was being such a dick. And he was like, we knew it. We knew. Like, we just knew that he wasn't sincere.
You're also, we're at a certain age, and by the way, I think I saw this at 30. Preaching at this point, you probably have some kind of negative feeling towards it, or you at least have a feeling towards it, right? You like someone preaching. Either you're like, yes, I love just the word preach, right? Like, and then what comes after that? And I think with yoga, every single person that's preachy, it's just not what it is. And so again, you just took a hard left, but I think it goes back to what you're talking about saying. And so if they preach, all the people that are lost then flock to this preachiness of whatever it is, and I completely, all my guard is up. My feathers are up. Everything is up, and I think that comes from my upbringing of Catholic, and I'm just like, well, God loves everybody, so I'm not really sure what we're talking about right now that other people aren't. To me, the Catholic world is like, if you're not Catholic, we don't care, and you have to do these things, and can't be gay, whatever, all of it. And I'm just like, oh, but God loves everybody. I thought that was the first thing.
Yeah.
So to me, being preachy, I'm already out. Like,
I just wish every woman who gets to this age would be as discerning, would get that discerning. Like, it comes with menopause, but just like understanding that you're kind of easily manipulated when you think someone else always has the answer. And I think it's one of the things we need to learn at this time.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? Because I guess when you go back to menopause, that's in my head. I knew not to click all those Instagram things being like, we have the answer to menopause, right? Like, I knew probably it wasn't going to be an answer I wanted or whatever, but I clicked it. But also my guard is up, and you're right. It's just kind of that's interesting. We went for a full circle because it's like, that's probably why I click it to see, but also I'm usually disappointed because I already knew.
Yeah. There's never one answer. Well, JoAnna, I've loved talking to you.
Thank you for having me. This has been amazing.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you too.